Alright, so let's go ahead and install HTML Agility Pack. So click Tools, NuGet Package Manager, and manage NuGet packages for solution. This is going to prompt you with this window, and we're going to click Browse, search for HTML Agility Pack, and it should be the first one that pops up. We're going to tick that and click Install. Okay. And as you can see, it's successfully installed. So let's head back to the project. And now we gotta find a web page to scrape. Alright, so the page that we're going to scrape is this one right here. We're going to be scraping the title and the description. So it's kind of a small review right here related to the title of the game as well. And as you can see, it's not a whole lot on the page, but then again, you can click show more, and you can, if you scroll down, even more and more and more. So let's go ahead and do this. So since we're going to data bind, we actually need a model, a entry model that's going to define what the actual object is going to look like. So let's go ahead and go to our project, right click, add, and we're going to add a new class. So new item, class, and we're going to call this entry model. Perfect. This is going to be a public class with two public properties, because we're going to bind to the properties and they have to be public and it has to be a property. So let's do prop tab tab, and this is going to be a string. Click tab again twice, and we're going to call this title. Perfect. And then we're going to create a new one, call this description, and that's it. Now we're actually going to define a class for the scraper as well. So let's click add, new item, and we're going to call this scraper. Perfect. We're going to make this class public, and we're actually going to start off by creating a property full. So prop full tab tab, and this is actually going to be of type observable collection. Control plus to import it. See, it's missing the namespace. So using system collections object model. Perfect. And it's going to be of type entry model. Now we're going to call this underscore entries, because it's a private one, equals new observable collection of the same type. So observable collection, can you spell? Observable collection, there we go. Alright, so once we're done with the object, we're actually going to start working on the property. So we're going to have this to be the same type, so observable collection of the type entry model. Perfect. We're going to call this property entries. It's going to be a public one, make sure that it's public. And we're going to get return underscore entries. And for the set, we're actually going to do the same thing here. So underscore entries. Perfect. Let's just go ahead and add the data context real quick, because that, if we forget that, that's kind of a big no, because we gotta set the data context. So heading back to the main window.sample.cs, we're actually gonna, because we're gonna debug this later, so let's create a new instance of the scraper. So scraper, perfect. And underneath the initialize components, we want to initialize a new instance of it. So scraper, there we go, equals new scraper. Perfect. Now we also got to set the data context to that scraper. So data context, here we go, equals scraper, the new instance that we just created. Alright, now we can head back into the scraper.cs file, and we can start working on the method that's going to scrape the data. So let's call it, let's make it a public void scrape data, like so, and it's going to take one parameter being a string. Let's just go ahead and add a string, and we're going to call it page, because we're going to pass in the page that we have within this text box right here. And if you remember the name of it, we can click it and it navigates us to it. So it's tb.page. Perfect. And that's what we're going to be using at a later point. So let's go ahead and start doing this. Since we already have HTML Agility Pack installed, you still need to reference it using a using statement. So up top, as you can see, using HTML Agility Pack, you can type it out manually, or you can do it like this. So let's just create a web document. So web equals new HTML web. And mine's already in here, but if you do this, it's probably going to throw you an error because you haven't referenced it yet. So do control and then dot, and it's going to let you import it like that. Then we want to create a document that's going to hold the actual HTML document. So variable document equals new web dot, web, no, not new, what am I saying? Web.load. And what we want to do is we want to pass in the parameter that we created above. So page. All right, perfect. Now, let's actually look at this web page right here. If we take a look at what we want to scrape by, we can actually, I'll walk you through this real quick. So you pull up the web page and you click F12 in your web browser. This should work in Chrome as well. And we can see that this is what we want to scrape. We can right click the element without finding it right here manually, which it wouldn't take that long of a time, but it would still be quite annoying because there's a lot of content here. What we want to do is we want to right click the element that we want to inspect, and we're going to inspect the element, and it's going to navigate us to the actual node. So as you can see, this is the article header. That's what we want to get, and we also want to get the description. So let's inspect that too. We can see that that's the article copy. This still is kind of scary to look at because it's a lot of content, but if we start breaking it down, we can see that all of these articles here are just divs that has the same class, being the article single. So we want to scrape all the divs here that has the attribute class equals article single. So let's go ahead and grab all of those nodes real quick. We do that by creating a new variable, var articles equals doc, because this is the document that we're working with, document node, because that grabs the entire document node, and then select nodes right there. And then we want to filter it. We also want to search for it first, but we want to filter. So first of all, we need to head into the root, so // and then a star, because we want to grab the matching element that matches this filter. That's what the star says. So let's do bracket opening closing at class equals single quote. And then we can just pass in this right here, paste it, and we should be good to go. Let's try debugging this real quick by putting a breakpoint right next to it, heading into our main window.saml.cs, and within our button scrape, we actually want to call this method. And since we already initialized a new instance of it, the class, we can actually call that method straight away. So scraper.scrape data. Perfect. And again, it takes a parameter. The parameter would be the page, as we can see up here. And that's going to be the page that we put in the text box. So let's put the name of the text box, tb.page, and want to get the text property. Perfect. Now we can start this application up, copy the page URL, and we're going to paste it in, click scrape, and see if, oh, we hit the breakpoint. Perfect. Now if we press F11 and hover over the articles variable, we can see that we have a HTML node collection. And if we dive into it, we can see that we have a bunch of divs, 11 of them. It's index based, so it starts at 0 to 10, and there are 11 in here as well. So let's just double check and head into results view, and we can see that we have the name right here. Perfect. All right, so let's stop debugging this application, make it a little bit bigger, and we're actually going to create a for each now, because we want to for each through all of them. For each tab variable article in articles, and we want to grab the header. Like, we're gonna have to look at this again. So again, we want to grab this node right here, the inner text, and we want to get the description as well. And as we can see, there are two different nodes, so article header and article copy. So we're gonna have to create two variables for that. So let's do variable header. You can call it title as well if you want to. Header equals, we're actually going to be using HTTP utility for this, so you're going to have to import an assembly. You go to Solution Explorer, References, Add Reference, and within Assemblies, we're going to search for system.web. As you can see, if this should be unchecked for you, so just tick it real quick and click OK. And then we're going to call HTTP utility. And this won't show up straight away because you gotta import the namespace. So control and dot, and it's going to let you import it. Alright, so dot HTML decode. And what this is going to do is it's going to decode the HTML string that we're passing through when we scrape from the document. So we won't get any weird characters once we have the actual string value of it. So again, we want to decode, and what we want to decode is the article dot select single node. Perfect. And then we want to filter it again. We're going to select a single node within this div tag. Right, this one. So what we want to do is it's a little bit different, because if we do dot slash slash, first we got to put in a string, dot slash slash, that means that we want to be, the dot means that we want to be inside the node that we're currently at, and then slash slash means everything within that node. So let's do that, and then we want to grab the list item, because it's a list item we want to grab. I want to filter it, the list item, because there are 3. And we want to get the article header, so at class equals single quote. We can just double click this, Control C and Control V, and then it's still throwing an error because we want to get the inner text property, right? Inner text. Perfect. Now we can actually try this out by writing that out to the console. So let's do debug.print. You might have to import a package, which you should. Let's see which one that is. Yeah, system diagnostics. Yeah, I already have it imported, but again, control dot, and then we're gonna do header. Perfect. And then if you don't have the output window open, make sure you head to view and then output, and it should pop up because this is where it's going to print everything out. So let's start that real quick and hope that this works. Let's copy that, paste it in there, scrape, and as you can see, we get all the titles. Alright, so let's grab the description as well while we're at it. So let's do the same thing, pretty much the same thing. We gotta change the filtering though, so the XPath. So variable description equals HTTP utility dot HTML decode. I wanna decode the article dot selected node, select single node, and within here we want to put the XPath and the filtering. So we're gonna do dot list item slash slash, and instead of getting the class of article header, we want to get the article copy. So I'm gonna copy that straight away. I want to put the filter in there, at class equals single quote, put that in there, and then again want to get the inner text. Perfect. Now we're going to do some string interpolation here as well to make sure that it prints out a bit nicer. So let's do a cash sign, $, and a string, and that allows us to use code within our string. So let's do title, opening and closing curly brackets, put header in there, a new line by doing \n, and then description. Perfect. There we go. Perfect. Now opening and closing curly brackets, description. Perfect. We can actually, there we go, just to make it look a bit nicer. We're gonna start that up. Oh, copy, paste, scrape, and the description is throwing us an error. Oh, we actually put the list item before everything. We want to do everything and then list item class, because otherwise it's the wrong order. So let's copy that again, paste that in, scrape, and as you can see, we now get the title and the corresponding description. So let's just double check Galax Z, and when I receive the offer, perfect. All right, great, good job. All right, so now that we have all the data needed for the front end, let's go ahead and data bind our data grid. All right, so because if we scrape it now, it's not showing anything in the data grid. That's because we haven't bound the data yet. So let's do item source, opening curly brackets, binding, and then we want to bind to a property, and the property we want to bind to is actually the observable collection that we created earlier, entry. So Control C, Control V, and then that should be it. Let's start it up real quick. That might not be it because I don't think we're actually adding anything. No, we're not adding anything to the observable collection yet, so it's going to be empty. So let's change that real quick. So let's go ahead and add to the private field underscore entries. Oop. Entries add, and then we want to add a, since it's of type entry model, we're going to match that by doing new entry model. And then within the entry model, we do opening curly brackets. Perfect. And then we want to get the title. We're going to set that to the header. And then for the description, I want to set it to description. Perfect. That should be it. Let's go ahead and move that to the side. And copy this. Paste it in. Scrape. And as you can see, we've now successfully scraped the page. And it's actually looking pretty darn nice. Alright, so how do we export this now? I'll show you. We're actually going to make use of something that's called CSV Helper, which is not a third-party library that we can get on the NuGet. So let's head over to Tools, NuGet Package Manager, Manage NuGet Packages for Solution, and Browse. And then we want to head over to CSV Helper. Should be the first one. Yep, green icon. 6.35 million downloads. Let's check these. Install. And click OK. I accept. Alright. Perfect. Now we can actually, get the export as well. So let's create a new method called export. So public void export. Opening closing brackets. And we want to do using tab text writer. Yeah, we're gonna have to import as a control plus using system IO. We're gonna call this TW for text writer equals file create text and then the name of the document. So I'm gonna call this sample data.csv. Perfect. And then within our using, we want to list another using statement. So using tab CW for CSV writer. I actually want to do variable CW because we're stored in a variable. So equals new CSV writer. Again, control plus to import it. Perfect. And then we want to pass it a parameter, and it's going to be a stream, and it's going to be the text writer. Perfect. So let's do that, and then for each entry, let's do for each entry in our entries, we want to write a new record to the CSV file. So CW dot write record. Perfect. And then we want to pass it the entry. And then to make sure that it actually writes a new record every time, let's do CW dot next record, because it goes through a loop. Perfect. Now let's just invoke that in the menu item click, which should be changed. The name should be changed. Let's see, just to, where do I have it? Yeah, we didn't set a name, that's why. Let's do x name equals item export. Real quick, perfect. Export, Control C. We're gonna change the name right here, and then we can't forget to change the name in here as well. So there is perfect. Now let's do scraper dot export. Let's make sure it doesn't throw in errors when we do this. So let's just get the page again. Control C, paste it in. Control V, scrape. As you can see, we have all the data, and it's time to export it. So export, no errors. Perfect. Now we're actually going to find the file, which we can do in the project files. So let's head over to the Solution Explorer, right click our project and open folder in File Explorer, bin, debug, and as you can see we have the sample data.csv. I'm going to use OpenOffice so I can actually open the file and read it properly. It's a free application that's really good. Let's see, Apache OpenOffice, perfect. We're going to head to the download by clicking the download web page. And here we can select whatever we need. So I'm going to set this to English, US, Windows, and the latest version. Download full installation. Once you have the installation up and running, let's click next. Select the destination folder, wherever you want to install it. The default path is fine for me. Install. And it should go really quickly. So again, click next. The username, perfect for me. Next. Typical. Next. And that should be it. We can actually close these web pages now. And the installation has finished. So finish that. We can now open this. And we're going to click next. First name, that's fine. Finish. And to make sure that it formats correctly, we're actually going to do the comma. And that should format it correctly. So take this, and the text delimiter is going to be the quotation marks, the double quotation marks. And yeah, that should be it. Click OK. And as we can see, we've now exported the text to a CSV file. Perfect. You now know the basics of how to web scrape using HTML Agility Pack. Wasn't too bad, was it? You can now use these skills to scrape other web pages. Keep in mind that some web pages have some restrictions on web scraping, so make sure to look into that before actually scraping the data. That being said, I really hope you enjoyed this course. I'll see you in the next one.